Welcome to my Care and Respect Part 3. If you've seen Part 1 and Part 2, you already know how this is going to go. So let's just do the lyrics real quick. My respect for you is so low. Disrespecting you would be considered gold. Putting a bullet would be too cold, and we need these chemicals. Make the seats medium with disrespect. Feed these feelings with lack of respect. These deeds dealing with that prospect. How to be a pro in killing brats. Sorry, frats that have sex in the basement, because their embarrassment is already set. Let's sit this down and say bet. Let's argue now. Are you broke yet? Homeless in the basket. Sorry, take a shot for that last miss. Last in Las Vegas, your Christmas one hit. Strike your bases, voiceless and cordless. You're a ride or die, I'm a die or die. Roll or die for my time. Die my lie and laugh the floor. I'd ride on the floor for my ride. Because this is the best way to not collide. My respect is resent, so I resent you, I should say, but no. It's a little less about you in the play and how Jesus comes in play, though I really want to take this pain away. So we're going to start with the rhyme schemes, right? And then we'll go into sort of an explanation, and yeah, you already know how it's gone if you've seen the other two, right? So we're doing, respect for you is so low. Disrespect in you would be considered gold, right? So you got respect, you, right? And now throughout this whole entire thing of part 3, it changes consistently. Like compared to the other two and the last one, there's no reoccurring multiple rhyme. You got this whole thing through. Nah. Instead, I'm relying heavily on the guitar that's going dun dun dun. Because there's not going to be a lot of the same exact rhyme throughout the whole thing, right? Now, what I do is I try to make multiple rhyme sentences, like multiple syllabic rhymes, but whole sentences. Like, my respect for you is so low. Disrespecting you would be considered gold, right? And you got, you, would, you, right? You got a lot of similar mouth positioned, right? So you got respect, right? Bullet, right? Gold, cold, low, chemicals, right? And I try to do cold and chemicals because cold, chemicals, right? And then, respect, bullet, right? And then we got E, be, need, we, these, right? Multiple. And then right after that, you got these going together with, we need these chemicals, meet this heat's meeting with disrespect. And we still try to, so every time I try to switch up what I'm saying, every time I try to switch up the rhyme, I'll try to keep at least a little bit of the rhyme scheme from the last one to make it so it's not so jarring, right? So, we got respect for you is so low. Disrespecting you would be considered gold. Putting a bullet would be too cold, and we need these chemicals. And of course, you got putting, bullet. So we just, basically what I try to do is, while getting my point across, trying to keep, if I can't keep the whole rhyme scheme through the whole thing, then I'm trying to keep rhyme schemes from other parts, so it's like not so jarring and jumping from one to another, but more like sewing stuff together. So even though I'm going like this, I can take a bit from this line and go through, so I can continue on, and they sort of all connect like a line, right? So, we got respect, you, would be considered, right? Be, would be, and then we need these chemicals. And then this is where we get multiple rhymes, like meet this heat's meeting with disrespect, feed this feelings, right? So we got meet, heat, meeting, e, feed. And now even though feelings and feelings, fill isn't the same as feed, when you got feelings and feelings, they sound very, very similar. So it's not that hard. And then we got lack of respect, that prospect. So, like I said, still adding them together. And so what you can see with this so far, what I've done with this, and like I said, since this is so long, I don't really keep the same style. So like when I started this, I was doing threes, right? Like one type of multiple rhyme for an entire sentence for 3 sentences, then switch that up for another 3 sentences. But then I switched that up, and I was like, no, what? whatever, I'll just keep the same thing, right? So, for example, my respect for you is so low. That's one sentence. Disrespecting you would be considered gold. That's two sentences. Putting a bullet would be too cold. So we need these chemicals. That you could say is 4 or 3 sentences. And we would need these chemicals, sorry. And then we got meet this each medium with disrespect. That's one sentence. Feed this feelings with lack of respect. That's 2 sentences. Each deed is in with that prospect. How to be a pro in killing rats. So you can sort of see, I say 3 sentences, like it's like 3.5, because that last one doesn't rhyme as much as the others, but it's got multiple, like reoccurring rhymes in itself then. But then I switched that up, sorry, for us to have 6 in the basement because their embarrassment is already set. This is just, I don't say bet. Let's argue now. Are you broke yet? And stuff like that. Honestly, I'll try, but I don't know if I'm going to get through all the word rhymes in this just because it switches up so much. But this is explained, so I'll try to. So, throughout this whole thing, we got the ET or IT in a lot of the rhymes, right? So I keep going back to that, and then I got meat, and I keep going back to that, right? And I try to do open mouth rhymes as well, but it just, like, roll a die for my time doesn't have either of those, right? So yeah, honestly, what I might do is I might just do the metaphors, just because this is so long and I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. But yeah, so that's sort of the explanation on why I'm not doing this whole entire explanation on how all these rhyme schemes, even though I did a little bit of that. All right, so back to the rhyme schemes. Actually, let me give you a story about why I made my care and respect real quick. I made my care and respect because there was certain people that were not gaining my respect. Not gaining my respect is like I did not care or respect them at all, right? Which is obviously, my care and respect, the whole story of this. But this part especially, you'll see exactly why. And I've written other songs about them, but basically we had this family that was living with us for a few months, like 7 months. And I really struggled with basically how they acted altogether. And they were not people that I agreed with very much, and were very hard to respect with how they acted, right? So, like I say, my respect for them was so low. Disrespecting them would be considered gold. Even giving them the time of day to disrespect them would be too much of my time. Giving them too much, it would be too precious. Putting a bullet would be too cold, so me killing them, would be too cold of an act. And we need these chemicals. We need them to burn, right? Meet this each meeting is disrespect. So, every type of meeting we would have to meet with them to be like, hey, look, I need to, blah, 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 blah. They'd meet it with disrespect. They'd be there, drunk, high, not respecting anyone, being like, I don't want to be there, blah, 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 right? So meet this heat meeting with disrespect. And the heat is also connected to the chemicals, but I'll get back to the metaphors later. Feed this feelings with lack of respect. So, the feelings of this meeting, our feelings, you're feeling with a lack of respect. We understand that we're not respected. At least that's how I was feeling, right? Each deed is dealing with that prospect. So each deed that they're doing, each deed that I'm dealing with, that they are doing, deed, your actions, I'm doing this, is dealing with that prospect. Like I can see, oh yeah, they're obviously not respecting me. Like the prospects, I can obviously see they're not dealing with me. How to be a pro in killing rats. So as you can see, especially in this moment, and especially in a song called Worse Than Fraud, I was struggling with not killing them is the best. I'm trying to make it sound a lot nicer than it is, but basically I was 15. I was man, I really don't want these people here, and I'll take them out if I have to. I'll remove the problem. And 15-year-old me was also nah, that's not what God wants. That's not what God wants. That's not what Jesus wants. They have a kid, all this, and then I was still like, man, these people are really annoying. I could just remove them right now. Like I'm trying to tiptoe around that, but basically that's my thought process I had back then. Sorry, frats that have sex in the basement. They were basically like they acted like frats, right? Because their embarrassment is already set. Yeah. I'll explain the metaphors a little later, but that was just a metaphor. Like their embarrassment is already set. They didn't really have any embarrassment that they showed. Like not really at all. Let's sit this down and say bet. Like I said, we were in a meeting. We were sitting down, and they were just like, hey, let's bet. You want to do this? Bet. Let's do this. Let's do this now, huh? Yeah. Let's bet. Let's do this. Bet. Like let's argue now. Are you broke yet? They spoke about how broke they are and how broke we are and everything. That's how a lot of poor people argue, though. They're like, you don't have anything, blah, 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 blah. If you were so smart, blah, 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 blah. You don't understand what it's like being hard like me, blah, 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 blah. You just contradicted yourself, blah, 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 blah. Right? Homeless in a basket. They were homeless. I'm homeless now, but, they were homeless. That's why they were living with us. Sorry, take a shot for that last miss. And they were drinking a lot. Like, they were homeless, but they were staying in their homelessness because they were always spending money on alcohol, weed, dabs, vapes, whatever they wanted, right? Say, take a shot for that last miss. Lost in Las Vegas, your Christmas one hit. They spoke about how they wanted to go to Las Vegas, and then on Christmas, the dude was arrested, which is, that's just a shot at him. One hit. That's just one hit from me. Strike your bassist, voices, and cordless, right? Basically, I'm saying your words hold no meaning. Your basis, you don't have any base, right? Your baseless accusations, think of that. Voices, your voices don't make any sense. Cordless, you're not striking any chords because, well, even though obviously when I was writing this, it was more their actions were striking chords, not their words, because they're useless. You didn't have my respect, so you can't strike a chord with me. You're a ride or die. They say they're a ride or die, like, as long as I'm with you, ride or die. That's why they kept trying to argue with our neighbors and starting stuff. Getting the police called all the time. You're a ride or die, I'm a die or die. Basically, I'm saying, hey, I don't care as long as one of us dies. Rolling to die and find my time. Basically, I'm like, oh, this is a chance. Maybe now I'll go to jail and take my time. Die my line, lots of fluoride. Basically, just trying to keep my mouth clean of these words, wash my mouth, brushing my teeth, dye my line, lots of fluoride. So basically I'm trying to brush my teeth clean of whatever I'm trying to keep, like, hey, are you good? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, line, yeah, we're good now, right? Yeah, we're good. No, we weren't, but, just trying to wash my mouth out. Right on the floor for my ride, because it's the best way to not collide. Because basically, I was in a car ride with them, and dude was going, I think it was 70 or 80 in a parking lot, because he fed his daughter applesauce that he knew she's allergic to, and she'd throw up. And this wasn't his car, this was my family's car. And they thought he was just driving to the dealership. And he wasn't even supposed to be driving because it's illegal for him to drive, so they thought his wife was driving, but she didn't want to drive. And then on top of that, they were going 70 to 80 miles in a parking lot, Safeway parking lot, with tons of people because he was worried about stuff like that. I'm like, seriously, come on. We're on the floor for my ride. Because I was basically on the floor. I was like, dang, I'm going to die. Because it's the best way to not collide, basically. If I don't look at them in the eyes like how a driver would, then, we won't collide. My respect is your sense, so I resent you, I should say. Literally, like I said, my respect wasn't given, like, they were literally taking my respect and throwing it back in my face, and not like, we respect each other, but, they were disrespecting me. So I resent you because, if someone isn't respecting you, it's really, really hard. And I know, based off these next words that I say, that, you're not supposed to, resent someone. That's not what Jesus says. That's how the Gentiles act, but it's really hard when someone's disrespecting you consistently all the time in your face. But no, it's just a little less about you in the play, It's not about them. I shouldn't be making my life decisions. Like, I shouldn't be going to jail for them. Like, ain't that even worse, You know, you think them disrespecting you right now is bad. You going to jail because of what they're doing is way worse, you know. And then not meeting Jesus even more is worse. So, you know, and how Jesus comes to play. Do I really want to take this pain away? Basically, like, hey, I'm still thinking, hey, I really want to kill you. Like, I really want to take this issue, you guys, the problem, away. But I know if I do that, I'll be losing a lot more. Now back to, like, you know, the actual, you know, schemes that I have in here. So my respect for you is so low. You know, respect is a constant in this. You know, my care and respect. We've been speaking about a lot about care, but here this entire verse is about respect, right? So my respect for you is low, like I said. And it's so low that disrespecting you would be considered gold. Like I said, even just disrespecting you would be considered the highest peak of currency you could get, right? Putting a bullet would be too cold. Like I said, putting a bullet, you know, killing them, it would be too cold. It would be too harsh, too cold, and not so much harsh, actually. And we need these chemicals. And I was thinking chemical reaction, like hot, like heat. We need to warm this up, you know. And then also too cold, I was speaking about revenge. You know, meat this heat's medium with disrespect. So, you know, heat, like the chemical I was talking about, but then heat, you know, we got the cold heat. And then meat, like I said, we're meeting together, but also meat, as in, well, you know, we have beef. Meat this heat's medium with disrespect. And then there's the respect that I'm talking about, the scheme of respect. Feed this feelings with lack of respect. And like I said, meat, like eating, you know, feed. But also, you know, when you feed or eat, you know, my family didn't do this a lot, but when they were there, they had a big thing about sitting at the table and eating together, even though they were screaming at each other by the end of eating. So they always wanted to be like, hey, if we're going to be here, blah, 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 if us homeless family is going to live in your house, you know, they live in our house, we want to sit down and eat together. Feed this feelings with lack of respect. And, you know, like I said, every time we'd sit down to eat food together, they'd fill it up with lack of respect. And, you know, fill up, like, feed the feelings with lack of respect. You know, feelings like, you know, food, but also feelings like the inside of us. And then feeling, you know, our feelings were filled with lack of respect. Each deed is dealing with that prospect. And so what I was thinking was deed, like I said earlier, was, you know, their deeds. Prospect, but also deed. When I wrote dealings in deed, you know, you got the like them meat, feed, feelings, you know, deed, dealing with that prospect, but also deed as in, you know, house deed and dealings, you know, dealing with that, right, with that prospect. How to be a pro in killing rats, you know, like an exterminator. But also rats as in, you know, where do you find the rats? But usually in the basement. You usually find rats either in the basement or in the attic, but in that place we had a basement, not really an attic, right? How to be a pro in killing rats. Sorry, rats that have sex in a basement. So, you know, basically being like, oh, I'm not actually trying to kill the rats. I'm trying to kill you guys that are in the basement, because their embarrassment is already set. So their embarrassment isn't even at floor level. It's below the floor. It's in basement. It's basement level, right? And they would have sex in the basement. They don't care where they have sex. They don't care wherever they have sex, because their embarrassment is already set. Like, it's already set below. You know, it's already set below. Their embarrassment is even at ground level. Like I said, it's below ground level. Let's sit this down and say bet. And then, you know, sex, sit, SSEE. You know, those are very similar words. Set, six, set, you know. And then let's, you know. So like I said, I wasn't going to try to talk about the rhyme schemes that I'm having here. But, you know, like embarrassment. It's really, you guys should take a moment, like you've seen in the first and second one. If y'all want, you all could look at the multiple rhymes that I put in this. Like, I just try to pack it in with as many rhymes as I could. But now that sort of bit me back in the butt, because I don't want to speak about them, because I'll make this video too long. So, you know, homeless in a basket. Like I said, homeless, you know, they were homeless, but also homeless in a basket, as in, you know, you don't have anything but a basket to call your home, and it's not even your home. Sorry, take a shot for that last miss, you know. Shot, basket, something to hold it in, but also, like I said earlier, the shot was about that, but also for that last miss, like playing a game where if you miss, I can't remember the name of the drinking game, but we played it where if you missed, I think it was a ball into a cup, like beer pong, but if you missed, you'd drink a shot, right? And they played that, and I played that. Lost in Las Vegas, like I said, they wanted to go to Las Vegas, but also, you get lost in Las Vegas, lost in the sauce, lost in getting, drunk and everything. Your Christmas, one hit, your Christmas, that was, the message about, him going to jail on Christmas, but also Christmas as in, your wish is to go to Las Vegas. Your Christmas, one hit. You get hit, strike your bassist, voiceless, and cordless. And then strike, like I said, oh, strike. He's out of here. Bassless. You got no bass. Voiceless and cordless. And then, like I said, bassless. Your arguments are baseless, but also bassless, as in bass, the guitar, voice, as in, lyrics, and then chords. Like, you got chords, but also, like I said, bassless, voiceless, and cordless. And then also, bass as in baseball, because one hit, strike, bass, right? You're a ride or die, I'm a die or die, roll or die, and find my time, down my line, lost the floor, I'd run on the floor for my ride, because it's the best way to not collide. So there I added the I'd, D, and then you got O, like floor ride, roll, ride, floor, on the ride, or, chord sort of goes together with that floor, roll, and stuff like that. And then floor, your, or, lots of floor, ride, on the floor for my ride, because it's the best way to not collide, right? But then, I already sort of explained it, but you're a ride or die. You're like, hey, if you're on my side, we'll ride or we'll die. And I'm a die or die. We'll both die. Roll or die, roll my chances. Let's see what the chances I am to find my time today. What are the chances of me killing you today? Die my line, lots of fluoride. Yeah, I'm okay. Just gotta wash out my mouth real quick. Right on the floor for my ride. I don't want to look you guys in the eyes, because it's the best way to not collide. Because if we both look in the eyes, then we'll both collide and kill each other in the car. Because like I said, I'm a die or die. My respect is resent, so I resent you. Respect, resent. Right, respect, resent. Those are multi-syllabic rhymes. But also, R, E, they're multiple syllabic rhymes, but also it makes sense, I give you my respect and you resent it. So then I resent you, I should say, but no, it's just a little less about you in the play and how Jesus comes in play. So, I say this, I should say this, I should say blah, 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 but no, it's a little less about you, and that's, my pride coming in. It's a lot less about them, and it's a lot more about how Jesus comes to play. But, like I said, it's all this, it shouldn't be about them. It should be about Jesus, like how I live my life. It shouldn't be about them, but it's really hard when I want to take this annoying, this pain away, right? And like I said, after I go A, play, play, pain, away, take, and then, you got, should say, but it's a little less about you and the play and how Jesus comes to play. Do I really want to take this pain away? And I got a lot of multiple syllabic rhymes that you guys might want to see if y'all just, I might take a picture and put it up on the community post. So if you guys just want to, see how many rhymes you guys can find in this. Maybe you can, see how many syllabic rhymes, multi-syllabic rhymes, just sentence rhymes, just how many times I'll repeat one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 4, 2, stuff like that, that type of rhyme style. I try to also, here, if you guys just want to look at this real quick, y'all will see how I underline some parts that I mean to multi-syllabic rhymes, but then I got a multiple, marks through, and then what else? How, got and how Jesus comes in play, though I really want to take this pain away. How, though, one, right? This, Jesus, in, less, and then, less little ll. I should say I goes back to fluoride because it's the best way to not collide. You got cuz, and then collide, and then, like I said, fluoride, and stuff like that. And yeah, that's sort of like, if I wanted to go through all the rhyme schemes, I guess I could, but yeah, those are sort of the number one thing you got to remember throughout this is respect. How important respect is, obviously, my care and respect, but this entire verse is mostly focused on respect. Like I said, it ends with, my respect, and then the reason why I should really just be letting go and not caring about how they act, because, it's how Jesus comes in play. I should be focusing my respect on Jesus, not how they respect me. But my focus should be on Jesus, and not how to take this pain away, not how to kill them, because like I was struggling. But yeah, tell me y'all's opinions on this. This is part 3, and yeah, thank you very much. Tell me in the comments if you guys think I should have really gone through the whole entire rhyme scheme thing, like I did in the other two, but the other two are way shorter than this, and the other two have a lot more consistency. And I know I was a little broken up here and there going through this. It's been a little while since I've done, my care and respect explanation, like I think 2-3 weeks. But yeah, here's the third one, and I'll actually be doing the fourth one here in a bit, which you can see just how much shorter the fourth one is. In the fourth one, I think I'll be able to finish and do the whole explanation in rhymes really quick. So yeah, but yeah, this is my care and respect, part 3. This one's real big on respect. You could pretty much call it the respect section of my care and respect. See you.